right? Got stuck.
Thank you so much.
Traffic everywhere.
Traffic everywhere. My hand is still frozen.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, but
Yeah, because he was traumatized.
Hello.
I need.
How are you?
I know, but I gotta get my stuff out of the car.
Give me a prop at least. Some unicorn piece of paper.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Pretty good. A little cold, but good.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Ways and Means Committee meeting. Madam Clerk, please roll call.
Council Net.
Present.
President Council Hogan.
Present.
President Council Chakutis.
Present.
President Council Walsh.
Present.
President Council Field.
Present.
Present.
Could you please do your transfer?
Okay. We have,
Please lay over.
new transfers. We have $50,000 from reserve to the care of dogs to fund the needs of the department.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Council Net.
Yes.
Yes, Council Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Council Chakutis.
Yes.
Yes, Council Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Council Field.
Yes.
Yes. We have $1,000 from LPD expense to a bill of prior year for a retired officer.
Motion approved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Council Net.
Yes.
Yes, Council Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Council Chakutis.
Yes.
Yes, Council Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Council Field.
Yes.
Yes.
Funds, fund.
Certified funds, yep. $25,000 to the DPW for the 2025 treatment of Flax Pond project to eliminate algae.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Council Net.
Yes.
Yes, Council Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Council Chakutis.
Yes.
Yes, Council Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Council Field.
Yes.
We have $42,270 to the fire department for the 2025 firefighting safety grant program.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Council Net.
Yes.
Yes, Council Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Council Chakutis.
Yes.
Yes, Council Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Council Field.
Yes.
Yes. $60,000 to the DPW for the 2025 City of Lynn Parks Repair Project.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Council Net.
Yes.
Yes, Council Hogan.
Yes.
Yes, Council Chakutis.
Yes.
Yes, Council Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Council Field.
Yes.
Mr. Controller, any emergency on this? No. No emergency? Okay. What is the wish committee?
No adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion adjourned.
You owe me.
Call to order Public Property and Parks Committee. Roll call, please.
It's there? I didn't see it.
Counselor Chakutis?
Present.
Present. Counselor LaPierre? Absent. Counselor Net?
Present.
Present. Counselor Allensug?
Here, present.
Present. And Counselor Matul?
Present.
All right, what's on the agenda?
I'm sorry. We have a discussion for an easement to erect a fence on the city-owned property located at 83 Willow Street.
All right, Lauren, would you like to speak on? Oh, Jim. Is it Jim or?
All right. Hi, thank you. So we're here to talk tonight about the White's Laundromat site at 83 Willow Street in downtown Lynn. This is a contaminated property that has been vacant for many, many years. And over time, it's become a hot spot for dumping, unfortunately. Working with EDIC Lynn, we received a $500,000 US EPA grant to clean up the site a couple of years ago, and we've been working diligently with our contractors to move that forward. And one of the first steps for that project was to erect a more permanent fence around the site so that people aren't going in there, people aren't dumping things, and it's a little bit more protected for people to do the actual cleanup work on the soils once it's time to begin. We were very fortunate to receive additional funding from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection to assist us with some of this work. So as part of that, we did a lot of cleanup, specifically sensitive material cleanup. We did a survey of the site property, and we erected the fence around the property. I think if you drive by there, it's looking a lot better than it was a few weeks ago. So that's all positive. The one hurdle we ran into is that based on the survey of the property lines, we needed to build the fence a little bit beyond the property lines of the actual White's Laundromat site. Fortunately, the city owned all of the land around it, but I wanted to come to this committee to make sure we had formal approval to have the fence. It's really just a few feet beyond in some places where the actual property line is. If you've seen the site, it's really basically a pit in the ground, and it was just too hard to erect the fence around the actual property line because of the difficult topography.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Coco Allenson?
Just clarification, Madam Chair. There's already a fence there. Is it going to be outside of the fence or a fence of a fence?
So there was an old fence a few weeks ago. So if that's the one you're picturing, it was kind of crumbling in a little bit. We pulled that one out and we erected a shiny new fence. I have photos I can show you on my phone too if that's of interest.
I just want to make sure because to me it's redundant if there's already a fence there.
There's one fence there now that's the only one we're putting in.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? All right.
Are there any plans of constructing? What's the plan for that property site right now?
Yeah, so
It's contaminated, right?
Yes, it's contaminated right now, and so we're working on the cleanup to hopefully prepare it for a developer or some final use that's better than what it is today. We did do some work with the community and with EDIC Lynn a few years ago on some visioning of what the community would like to see on that parcel. So we've spent some time thinking about it, but part of our goal through this grant process will be making it a much better opportunity for a developer to come in. So we'll know more once we get through the next few phases of work, what might be possible on the site.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What's next on the agenda? Thank you.
Okay. We have a request from the Lynn Parks and Rec to use the foyer on Tuesday, April 15th, 2025 to Friday, April 18th, 2025 for pitches with the Easter Bunny. Tuesday, April 15th, 3 to 7 p.m., Wednesday, April 16th, 2:30 to 4 p.m., Thursday, April 17th, 2:30 to 4 p.m., and Friday, April 18th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We have, lastly, a request from the mayor's office to use the foyer on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025, from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. for Student Government Day.
What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Second. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Is that it? That's it?
That's it.
All right. What's the wish of the committee? We have a motion to adjourn? Oh, do I have a question from somebody on that?
Motion to.
That's meeting, that would be licensed, that's coming up soon. All right. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Second, okay. All in
Second.
favor, aye?
Aye.
Licensing for Tuesday, February 11th. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Counsel Field?
Present.
Present Counsel Hogan?
Present.
Present Counsel Net?
Present.
Present Counsel Alansug?
Present.
Present, and Meji Maji?
Present.
Present.
Excellent, 100% attendance. So some taxi operators.
Okay, we have Esdras Gomez Monteras.
He's here. Thank you for being here. What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That license is granted.
Ready tonight.
Okay. That license is ready. If you want to go down to the clerk's office, it'll be ready for you.
Today,
Today.
dice que si quiere vaya de una vez a la oficina allá en el primer piso, ahí donde aplicó y le van a darle el permiso de una vez.
Gracias.
Okay. And second, we have Marvin Ramirez Chalel.
Mr. Chilel, Romero Chilel is here. What's the wish of the committee?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? None. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That license is granted, Mr. Ramirez Chilel, and is ready in the clerk's office. Thank you.
Lo mismo, pase ahí abajo. Cuídese.
Gracias.
And we have Garrett Smith.
Garrett, what's the wish of the committee?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion? None, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That license is granted, and Mr. Smith, it is ready in the clerk's office downstairs. Thank you for being here.
Okay, we have signed license renewals.
Take them as a whole if we can.
Take them as a whole.
Take them as a whole. Thank you, Mr. Councilor Hogan. What's the wish of the committee?
Yeah.
Motion to
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion on those signed renewals? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Huh?
Those signed license renewals are all approved. We have some canning dates. We'll take them individually if we can, please.
Okay, we have Lynn English, ROTC, adults only, March 13, 14, 15, 2025.
What's the wish of the committee for the
Motion to approve.
motion to approve?
Second.
Second, any discussion? None, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? That canning date is granted.
Okay, we have Wyoma Lions Club, adults only, June 28, 2025.
What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Or present? I'll vote present, please.
Present?
Yeah, as a member of the Wyoming Lions.
All righty. And we have Lynn Youth Hockey, adults only, October 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That canning date is granted. Any other business? What's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve. Adjourn.
Motion to approve our adjournment? Any second on approving Council Allen Suggs'
Second.
approval of our adjournment? Second, any discussion?
No.
None, welcome home. All in favor to adjourn? Aye, opposed? We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep, this is up for you, but then I'll call.
We have your attention, please. Is this volume turned up or what? Doesn't sound good.
I want to hear a pin drop.
First, before we get started, we'd like to bring up the 8U chair coaches, please. The 8-year chair coaches. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring everybody up here one by one. But when you come up, you're going to come up this way here. You're going to receive your citation and then come right down in front of the stage so we can get a nice picture of you. All right? But you guys know what we're here for. We're here to recognize Lynn champions, all right? And that's huge. Representing Lynn, all right? Whenever you get to leave Lynn and go on to Massachusetts, go on to New England, call yourself a champion, and then go on to the nationals and represent Lynn, Massachusetts as a national competitor is unbelievable. And remember that every single person in this room is a champion because you guys represented our city to the fullest. And believe me, if you didn't think we weren't there, we were home watching on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. We were watching you guys, and we're very proud of you guys because you lit Lynn on fire when you guys represented us at the nationals. All right? All right? Yep. Not just because I'm a Westland kid and I'm a Lynn Rams kid my whole life, but I represent that to the fullest. But I know now that it's a Lynn Rams, we might have a couple Eastland kids or kids from somewhere else, but it's all good. At this time, I'm going to bring up the Honorable Mayor of the City of Lynn, Mr. Jared Nicholson.
Thank you so much, Councilor Hogan. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the City Council for hosting us this evening. And on behalf of the City of Lynn, it is my honor to congratulate the champion Lynn Rams. We are so excited for all that you have accomplished and so excited to be here together tonight to be able to celebrate you. I look out and I see the future of this city. And I feel so excited because I can see in your eyes the hard work that you are putting in to get where you are, the lessons that you're learning by working together, by competing, by picking one another up, and by excelling and representing Lynn on a broader stage. And I know that you're going to continue to take those lessons forward with you. I'd like to thank all of the coaches and the parents and the volunteers that make these opportunities possible. Thank you so much for what you do. And most of all, I want each of you to know that we are proud of you. We believe in you. And we know that you are going to continue to soar to great heights. Congratulations on behalf of the City of Lynn.
I'm going to call up, before we call up the names, I'll call up school committee member Mr. Lenny Pena to say a couple words. Come on, Lenny.
All right, all right. Hey, first and foremost, I want to say thank you to all the parents, the coaches, and the players. You know, it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a community to get together. And listen, man, you represented well and feel proud. Give yourselves a hand, please. You know, as a parent, I know what it takes, all the hard work and commitment. And these coaches give a lot for our kids, man, and give it up for the coaches. Yes, you deserve it all. I mean, and when you're a coach, you're coaching all the time. You're a mentor to all our kids, and we really appreciate you. So, Rams, you know, let's see if we can do this again next year. And I'm willing to fight with y'all, and I know we're going to do it again. Come on, give yourselves a hand.
Okay, at this time, we want to call up Coach Aaron, Coach Diamond, and Coach Kara to come on up and read off the citation and bring them on up here. Go ahead, I'll read the first one. I'll just read what it is. Okay, so what the citation says, it says, from the office of the Lynn City Council, on its happy occasion of competing at the Nationals and being New England champs, the Lynn City Council acknowledges your accomplishments, dedication to the community, and overall excellence. Serves as an inspiration to all to follow. On behalf of the grateful and proud city, best known this official citation signed by the City Council of Lynn. Congratulations. Here we go. We'll call you girls up here. There you go.
So the first name is Layson. Next is Caliciana. Eliza.
Fred, they need to.
Jalea. Aaliyah. Anaya.
All right.
Zoe. Yasmin. Sunny. Mariah. Madison.
I'll be there.
Liliana. Alex. Quinn. Kenna. Kaylani. Kamaya. KK. Grace. Emily. Chloe. Briley. Aria.
Peter don't want to get right. Oh, I know. No, I know. I've seen my in-laws and my sister wake up early.
Aliana.
Hey, so what age group is your two? What age group? How old are you?
It only takes
8.
one.
Okay.
Or two.
Is it one more?
Aria's here.
Oh, if it, the whole village raced there. That's best.
At this time, if my colleagues would like to come up and take a picture, and parents, if you want to get a picture of the girls, City Council, come on up.
Hi.
Billy, everybody, ladies, tight together.
Girls, Amy. Didn't have a guy. What's up? Everybody say cheese.
Put your envelopes down.
Put your envelopes down.
Yellow envelopes. Good job, girls.
Good job, girls.
Good job, ladies. Thank you.
There we go. All right. All right. Great job, ladies. This mic isn't too loud, huh?
Last picture.
Terry, can we get the mic turned up a little bit? The mic is low.
Good job.
The microphone is low. Can we turn it up a little bit? Test 1, 2. Relax.
Hey, sir. How are you? I like the beard.
Year chair coaches.
That's 12U cheer coaches, please. 12U cheer.
Now, can you guys hear this?
Say a couple of quick words about your team.
12U, I'm very proud of you. You have come a long way since the start of the season. The outcome was more than I could have imagined. I'm ready for next year. My amazing coaches, Jada, Rosalie, Jojo, Vanny, Adriana, and who is missing is Jackie.
You get the names, tell them to come.
Janaya, Taylor, Sophia Zaccanini, Captain Jada, Joemi, Ava Chambers, Jada Lynn, Emery, Desiree, Ava Doyle,
Let's bring it down.
Annalise, Amia.
Go ahead, just say you want to recognize.
Okay, I want to recognize the girls that are not here today. I have Captain Millie, Jayleni, Sophia, Fatima, Leilani, and Ashley.
Would my colleagues like to come up for a picture, please? And our parents, if you want to take a picture of the girls, you can come up front now. Hey, you guys stay right here. Let the man get between you guys there. Let him get you. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Come on, guys.
Wow.
Roll call. Nicole, get in front of here. Come on. Come on.
His head's in the way.
Take it down.
It's my head.
I won't-
No, it's okay. That's what I was like. I'm right behind you. Go ahead, girl.
Just missed it. You walked in and just missed it. Yeah, one more way.
Everybody say cheese.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, congratulations.
Right along. Good job.
At this moment, can we have the 8U boys, coach? Thank you. 8U tackle coaches, please. Mo.
Yeah. All right. Okay, now it's the boys' turn.
Wally. Next team is up. Let's
Let Amy do it.
down.
Let Amy do it.
Back, okay? Let's go.
Same thing. This is Lynn Rams family. Thank you, Amy, for quieting the hall down here. That's very good. Now we got the 8U boys football. Lynn Rams. Yeah, I coached little Jamal. This one right here, but it's all good. Jordan too. But just like the girls, Lynn Rams cheerleaders, I'll tell you, it's an unbelievable thing what they do every year. I think there's a team in the Nationals every year now, so it's amazing. And same thing with the boys. Putting Lynn on the map is truly unbelievable. And you guys know it's not an easy task to get through the season for one thing, but then go on into the playoffs and battle your way, and then get all the way to Nationals and play those teams that are waiting for us always out in Nationals. But you know, to represent our city and being New England champs is unbelievable, because New England is a big part, and never mind just Massachusetts. So I want to just give it up for the Rams football here, and give it up for the Lynn Rams football. We're going to give our newest state rep, and he represents the West Lynn area, Mr. Sean Reed, a quick second to say a couple words.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Councilor Hogan. I just want to send from the State House and all the state delegation our biggest congratulations. Got a lot of friends on the team from over the years. So go Westland, Rams for life. Thank you.
We got some Eastland today, too.
Okay. Coach, who wants to? Okay, Coach Molly G.
First and
come up here, and then we'll line them up.
yes, first and foremost, I like to thank these coaches. These coaches made it happen. I'm talking about the commitment from day one. Rock, Damon, Leroy, Jordan, Renee, Steph, Ashley, all the moms. You guys all made it possible from the field, off the field, to keeping these kids in line from July all the way to December. Thank everyone. I'm gonna start with the names. Smallest guy on the team, everybody's little brother, Ricky. Ricky's not here. We'll accept his award. This is another one of the smallest guys on the team, the biggest hot in the room, Sebastian. This guy had a great smile, always smiling, laughing. Gabriel. This guy lost a tooth in nationals and still balled out. Juju. This guy right here, unanimous MVP in the conference, in the state, in the league. He's known as a cheat code. 31 touchdowns on the season. I don't know if that's been done. Darren. We had 2 offensive players this year. Two offensive players. This guy had 28 touchdowns also. Jordan. This guy was an anchor on defense. Jackson! This guy might have got yelled at the most by Coach Jordan. JJ! This guy right here, once we found out his nickname, he started balling. Juan, but we call him Goto. This is another guy, big hot. He's small, but he always showed up. Chase. This guy right here, he went down. I'll never make excuses, but I swear, it would be a different ball game if we was full strength in Florida. This kid got hurt a week before Florida. Started every game. He started offense and defense. Kingston. Go this way. Congratulations. This guy right here, again, we had a lot of small guys, but pack, heart, emotion. I'm telling you, this kid brought energy, everything to the defense. Giovanni. One of the best teammates you had, great listener, Jack. He's not here, we'll hold it down. Another small guy, everyone's little brother, Tyson. This guy right here was a backup. He ended up starting in New England Regionals game. Sean. Don. Again, another small guy, Dante G. Dante G. This other guy, we called him Dirty D. Dante. Dante Elliott. And today's his birthday. Birthday boy.
Happy birthday.
2 pick six on the season. This guy right here might be the most improved player. Started towards the second half of the season. My guy, Tony. This guy right here, he could literally get every award. Offense, defense, MVP, but I'm gonna go with leadership. Without leaders, nothing is possible. I don't care what you do. Firefighter, police, councilman, if there's no leader, it doesn't work. Eli. My man Boogie.
Yeah, Boogie!
This guy came on late, but he started laying hits like, yo, we gotta play this guy. Jonathan. No, Jonathan, we'll take it. This guy right here, he was shy, but he's tough. He was a backup. He ended up starting in Florida. Josiah. This guy's birthday was yesterday also. He just came back from Disney. One of the team favorites, Anasis.
Congratulations, man. Okay.
This guy, I'm sure, from every coach, one of the coaches award. Very good listener, very coachable kid. BB. This guy got tougher and tougher as the season went on. Damien. Damon. Another top kid, he started both ways. Fernando.
Okay. Congratulations, man.
This guy right here, a big dog, one of our best linemen. I think it's his first year playing football. You couldn't tell. Kevin. This guy right here, another one for most improved player. The first game, he was crying. He didn't want to go in. December, he was starting in Florida. Isaiah. This guy right here, unanimous defensive player of the conference, the league, the team, the state. You bring him anywhere. He is the best defensive player on the field. Braden. This guy, another one of Coach Jordan's favorite. He took the most heat from players, from coaches, from having to run. my guy. He never failed us in the game. Adriel. Okay. A few guys are not here, but I tell you, this was a complete team effort. Each piece played their part. We gave them an analogy. This is a puzzle. Each piece got to come together, play their part. They did that. We became the best team in New England. Over 500 points scored. Multiple kids with over 20 touchdowns. Hasn't been done in over 30 years. Wow. Coaches, thank you.
Let's run it back.
Guys, I do want to give a big special thanks to the coaches who dedicated so much time. They know how to do their job, and they did it very well. So, few coaches. We have Coach Jamal Boyd. Thank you. Coach Leroy. Thank you. Coach Damon. Coach Jordan. And Coach Rock. Coach John, you're not here. Thank you all. Look forward, group picture. Look that way, group picture.
Darren. Dante.
Wow.
Hey, history, guys.
Thank you. How do you feel?
Okay, Mama Rock.
I like that.
Good job, guys.
Great job.
Good job, guys. Hard work pays off.
Parents, post the picture in the group chat.
Yes. Yes.
Are we done, kids?
Make sure you stop by the mentor tables. We got...
too.
Good job. Good job. Good job. Awesome. That's great. Fun. Good recognition.
Thank you, everyone.
That mic ain't working. I can't. You told her. That mic's not working.
Thank you, everyone. It's my honor to represent my colleagues on the Lynn City Council to acknowledge this evening Lieutenant Joel Abreu.
You're right. That needs to go up. Check that volume.
Hey, how are you?
I thank many of the lieutenant's colleagues that are here today certainly deserve the same recognition because this is what they do every day. And they're here to support their brother for one of his acts of duty in just the recent past few weeks. So many of the officers that are here, many of the firefighters that are here, we recognize your work and what you do every day to help protect us. Deputy Chief Alley, officers, firefighters. I want to read a letter that was written by Chief Sullivan to explain in detail the bravery and the acts of Lieutenant Abreu and why we're here this evening. It reads, January 30th, 2025. Commendation, Lieutenant Joel Abreu. The Lynn Fire Department hereby commends Lieutenant Joel Abreu for his exceptional situational awareness, quick thinking, and life-saving actions during a training exercise at the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy on January 29th, 2025. Lieutenant Abreu's vigilance and prompt response to a potentially life-threatening situation exemplify the highest standards of professionalism and dedication to duty that we strive for in the fire service. While participating in live burns training, Lieutenant Abreu demonstrated remarkable attentiveness by noticing a recruit exiting the burn building in an unsteady manner. His immediate recognition of a potential medical emergency and subsequent action were crucial in saving the recruit's life. Upon assessing the recruit's condition, Lieutenant Abreu, foresight in requesting a defibrillator as a precautionary measure proved to be a critical decision. When the recruit suddenly lost consciousness, Lieutenant Abreu's training and experience came to the forefront as he, along with two other staff members, swiftly determined that the recruit was in cardiac arrest. Lieutenant Abreu's decisive actions in applying the defibrillator and initiating CPR were instrumental in the recruit's survival. The fact that a shock advised and a shock administered, followed by approximately 4 rounds of CPR, underscores the severity of the situation and the importance of Lieutenant Abreu's timely intervention. The positive outcome of this incident, with the recruit regaining consciousness, is a testament to Lieutenant Abreu's skill, composure under pressure, and unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of those under his care. His actions not only saved a life, but also set an exemplary standard for all fire service personnel. Lieutenant Abreu's performance on January 29th, 2025 brings great credit upon himself, the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy, and the Lynn Fire Department. His actions embody the core values of our profession: courage, dedication, and service to others. We commend Lieutenant Joel Abreu for his heroic actions and express our deepest gratitude for his outstanding service. His quick and decisive response served as an inspiration to all members of the fire service and reinforced the critical importance of ongoing training and vigilance in our profession. And on behalf of the Lynn Fire Department and the community we serve, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to Lieutenant Joel Abreu for his exceptional performance and life-saving intervention. Sincerely, Daniel Sullivan, Chief of the Department. It's my honor to bring the Honorable Mayor, Jared Nicholson.
Thank you, Councilor Field. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the City Council for hosting us this evening, and thank you to Chief Sullivan for writing that commendation, and Deputy Chief and all the members of the Fire Department who are here this evening. On behalf of the City of Lynn, we are just so proud to be able to recognize Lieutenant Abreu, and that to think about that moment and the years and years of experience behind it, the so many hours and weeks of really intense training, and for that to all come down to these split seconds of an incredible pressure in a life or death scenario for Lieutenant Abreu to step up and be able to do what he did with such skill in such a demanding moment, and to have such a positive outcome. Just like the chief said in his letter, it's a great reflection on him. It's also a great reflection on the men and women of the Lynn Fire Department, and just a really proud moment for our city. So we just want to say thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And I just want to read the official citation on behalf of the City Council for Lieutenant Abreu. It says, the Office of the Lynn City Council offers their sincerest congratulations to Lieutenant Joel Abreu, Lynn Fire Department, in recognition of your exceptional observation skills, rapid response, and life-saving actions during a training exercise at the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy on January 30th, 2025. The Lynn City Council acknowledges your accomplishments, dedication to the community, and overall excellence serves as an inspiration for all to follow. On behalf of our grateful and proud city, we bestow this official citation dated today, February 11th, 2025, and I'm joined by Mayor Nicholson and representatives from our state delegation. Once again, thank you, Lieutenant Abreu.
Hey, there it is. Thanks. I just want to say thank you to everybody. I'm not much of a talker, and after what I just witnessed about 5 minutes ago, I don't think I can even compare to that. Guys, I love this job. I love you guys. I hope you guys know that. Thank you.
Anybody want to
go up there? Field's inviting us.
Yeah. Go. I don't want to do a photo.
Councilors?
Again?
Councilors.
Why did you want to talk? Tall and wide.
Good evening, everyone. Today, February 11, 2025. I would like to call the Utilities Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Councilor Aronsberg?
Present.
Present. Councilor McLean? Present. Present. Councilor Hogan?
Present.
Present. Councilor Mejia Madre?
Present.
Present. Councilor Meany?
Present.
Present.
Okay, we have 4 items on the agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the first one.
We have Linfield Street, Parker Ave, to relocate one joint-owned pole at this intersection to solve a clearance issue with trucks making contact with the existing pole when entering the driveway.
Let's open this for public hearing. Is there anybody here wish to speak in favor? Name and address for the record, sir.
Jose Luis Azurdia, 170 Medford Street in Malden. Good evening, Council President, Council members. In this case, we're requesting to relocate an existing pole approximately 10 feet. The current spot keeps getting hit from the trucks pulling in and out of the property, so we're just trying to avoid this problem. Thank you.
All right, just take your seat. We'll continue public hearing. Anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? Seeing none, that part of the public hearing is closed. Anybody here wish to speak in opposition? 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 Seeing none, that part of the hearing is public. Hearing's closed. Councilor Meany, this is your ward, sir.
Yeah, they're basically just moving a obstruction from a traffic. It just cleans up a headache. It's a no-brainer.
Okay, thank you. All right, what's the wish of the committee?
Motion to approve.
We should approve. Any second for that?
Second.
Second by Councilor Natasha Mejia. Say aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, petition carries. What's the second one, Madam Clerk?
We have 112 Jefferson Ave, install one joint-owned pole to relocate a permanent overhead service.
Public hearing, sir. Anybody wish to speak in favor, sir?
Good evening. In this case, we're requesting to install a new pole to alleviate a safety hazard for a low-hanging secondary service to the residents at 112 Jefferson Street. This request initially came in as a customer request. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak in favor? Anybody wish to speak in favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody wish to speak in opposition? 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 Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the committee? Councilor Matul, I believe this is your ward.
This is my ward, and I'm okay with this. I'm not a voting member of this committee, but I would like to.
Any members
ask,
who would like
members
to?
Motion to it.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilor Mejia. Any second? Any second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Hogan. All in favor?
Aye.
Petition carries. Madam Clerk, the third one, please.
Hanson Street to install one joint-owned pole in order for a service to be installed to feed streetlights.
Since it's Hanson too, can you mention the fourth one too?
Yeah, they also install underground facilities and conduit in order to feed streetlights.
Jose, you can just mention both projects then, for Hanson.
You want me to say?
Yep.
Okay. So in this case, we're requesting to install a pole at the end of Hanson Street to accommodate a new service for the lighting at a new park. I think this is the Lynn Harbor Park. So we're just doing a new service for that. Thank you.
And the other one still Lynn Harbor Park, correct? Install underground facilities?
That's correct. So the next petition is the underground portion. So in that case, we would like to install the underground conduit from the new pole that is previously requested, covering approximately 10 feet to go from the new pole to the private property. And again, this will cover accommodate the new service for the lighting.
Thank you. Let's finish the public hearing. Anybody here wish to speak in favor? In favor? Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Anybody here wish to speak in opposition? 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 Seeing none, the part of the hearing is closed. Councilor Hogan.
Yes, I'm definitely in favor of this. This is to get the streetlights working down to the Harbor Park, which is being worked on the Lynn Harbor down there off of the Lynnway, off of Hanson Street. So I'm definitely in favor of this. So I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Any second for that?
Second.
Second by Councilor Natasha. All in favor?
Aye.
Petition carries. All right. Any new and old business, Madam Clerk?
No.
No. What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second.
Councilor Lapierre?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I understand I'm not a member of the Utilities Committee, but I did want to bring up a point of information, and maybe Jose from National Grid can come up, because I don't know how many councilors have experienced this over the last month or so, but the residents of Lynn are speaking out not only on Facebook, but they're calling us and talking about how their monthly utility bills have skyrocketed, particularly gas and electric. And in some cases, it's more than doubled. In a few cases, it's actually tripled. I spoke with Chair Allensung about what we can at least expect for answers from National Grid, and not knowing everything about a therm or everything about who is in charge of getting the supply into the homes and why that is dramatically increased. And I understand utilization is up because of some of the cold days we've experienced this winter of 24, 25. But our folks, our residents, our constituents are having a very hard time with what they think is a new bill in their household, frankly, because they didn't prepare in advance. There is no warning when electric bill or a gas bill, for that matter, goes up in our winter months. Some people are on a 12-month budget. They budget for that, and they pay the equal amount in the summer when their bill should be extremely low. But others are getting hit with, as I say, $400, $500, $600, even $900 a month. So I just didn't know if either Jose or a representative from National Grid, who is the right person to address my questions around why the increase, is there a rationale for it, what's happening with the grid. I understand it's happening with Eversource as well, but we're National Grid as a city. Is there a way to open up the monopoly on the National Grid to offer this and deregulate it so that we can offer ourselves as a city to other companies that could provide? I know solar is helping in some places, but not everyone can get solar panels for one reason or another. So I was just curious as to, if I could have the representative come up, if you've heard anything about why the dramatic increases in residential utility service this winter.
Good evening. So I believe the right person to answer all those questions would be John Prudent. He's worked with the council a lot of times, so he's definitely the point of contact. And I'll reach out to him tomorrow morning when I'm back in the office, just to let him know that, these are questions that you're going to need to answer. I believe he's going to be here in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
So, maybe he can answer those questions.
Perfect timing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Lapierre.
Could I just request that Terry or yourself can set that meeting up with the representative?
We already did.
In a couple of
We already did. So I just want the public to know that we are fully aware of this situation. In fact, my husband is here, who called me and complained why our bill is twice the usual amount, and he was upset, and I get it.
We're leaving the lights on too much.
And then we received a lot of calls as well and complaints. So I was in California when I spoke with the representative of National Grid, Mr. Prudente, and we set up the date for February 25. So him and his colleagues, all of them will be here, and they will do a quick presentation why they're increasing the amount, both for residential and for businesses. So he called me while I was away, and I said, bring everybody here because there'll be a lot of questions happening, and we're going to do it a public hearing as well. So residents could ask questions as well.
Appreciate that.
So I would like to ask my colleagues to help promote that so that we can answer all the questions once and for all in one setting and in one day. All right? What is the wish of the committee?
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn, second?
Second.
No, we're using it.
You ready? I'd like to call the City Council meeting for Tuesday, February 11th to order. Roll call.
Counsel Allensburg.
Present.
Present Counsel Chakutis.
Present.
Counsel Field.
Present.
Present Counsel Hogan.
Present.
Present Counsel LaPierre.
Present.
Present Counsel Matul.
Present.
Present Counsel McLean. Counsel McLean absent. Counsel Meany.
Present.
Present Counsel Meji Madre.
Present.
Present Counsel Net.
Present.
Present Counsel Walsh.
Present. We all rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Could we please keep in mind the family, the Boveri family, Mr. President? Thank you.
Keep in mind the family of Louis Mathos, please.
Keep in mind the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mr. President, keep in mind the Brown family and family of Dick Geron. Even though he was a Swampscott resident, he went to school here first in Lynn.
Yeah.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Accept the minutes from January 28th.
Motion to accept.
Motion do we have a second? Do we have a second on accepting the meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, minutes accepted. Communications.
We have no new
No
communications.
communications. Public hearings.
We have a public hearing on a proposed ordinance amending the City of Lynn zone ordinance to regulate accessory dwelling units in the City of Lynn.
All right, anybody wishing to speak in favor about this? Come on up to the podium.
Terry, do you want me to try to set it up now?
Counsel McLean is here. Counsel McLean, you're present.
We're trying to get him actually first. I don't even know where. Oh, this is.
That means if you want to. No. God forbid.
I don't think so. I think we can do that quickly, though. You just have to put it in.
There he is.
All right, success.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Lauren Drago, Associate Planner, filling in for Aaron this evening, who I know wishes he could be here to talk you through this. So as you know, we've had a proposed zoning amendment related to accessory dwelling units in the city. For anyone new to this concept, an accessory dwelling unit, or an ADU, is a residential unit that is added to an existing building. It can be an attached structure to the original building. It can be detached. There's a lot of different formats, but the key thing is that it's an independent housing unit in a permanent structure that has its own entrance and exit to the outside. And these are often also called in-law units or granny flats, things like that. And the reason that we're talking about this in Lynn is because in August last year, the state legislature passed a law that essentially protects ADUs to be built as right in single-family zoning districts. This law went into effect about a week and a half ago. And in the original law, they gave the right to the Housing and Livable Communities Office to put forth regulations about how this rule could be implemented. Those regulations have been finalized, they've gone through a public comment period, and we can choose to be more permissive than those regulations, but we do have to comply with the regulations and the initial legislation. The reason this is something that's come up in Massachusetts is because ADUs is considered a really strong, popular tool in the housing toolkit. Other states and other municipalities have used ADU policy to help generate more affordable, or I should say less expensive housing in their community. These are typically pretty small units. They provide additional opportunities for homeowners to either make a little income or to downsize. It often is supportive of intergenerational living situations. And people talk a lot about gentle density, of this idea that homeowners are sort of helping to make units one by one in an existing neighborhood. So in the actual ADU legislation from the state, we get a specific definition of an ADU. It's not to exceed 900 square feet or 50% of the principal structure square footage, whichever is the smallest. And essentially, if you're familiar with the Dover Amendment and the way that educational or religious uses are protected in zoning law in Massachusetts, this adds to that list. ADUs are now protected like it's a religious use in certain residential districts. And again, we can impose additional restrictions at the municipal level, but it is very specific that we cannot unreasonably restrict. We cannot ban these. There's very specific kinds of regulations that we can impose in this context. So for example, on the left, examples of reasonable restrictions would be requiring a site plan review, septic, making sure that they're meeting those requirements, setting regulations related to dimensional standards and heights, and then having restrictions about short-term rentals. However, we cannot require owner occupancy or familial relationships amongst people that are living in an ADU. We can't require a special permit or a discretionary approval for ADUs in general. And there's a lot of specifics about where and when we can require parking as a part of these developments as well. So fortunately, as you know, we've been working on a broader zoning rewrite in the city. So we already had a zoning working group in place with all of the different departments that participate in zoning in the city, representatives from this body, from planning board, from the zoning board of appeals. And so we worked with that existing group as well as the consultants we had already been working with on the broader zoning rewrite to put together the best local regulations that we could, given the specific context that we're operating within. So the zoning amendment before you tonight does allow an ADU by right on any property in a single family residential zoning district. If this body would like, they could provide a special permit for someone who wanted to build more than one ADU for some reason. We clarify in our rules, although it is also much more clear in the regulations now, that any ADU must comply with building and sanitary structures. These are, again, permanent, self-contained, independent units of their own right. There's no shortcut for the building code for these. We also said that they could not be rented for fewer than 28 days to be consistent with the timeline set in our short-term rental policies. And then we're also very specific about the required documentation that we want to submit. So it's not a special process necessarily, but we're requiring people to submit a plot plan and a lot of details about what they're intending to build so that we can make sure we're getting the best possible insight into what the intention is. And so what you're seeing on this map here in the purple is where ADUs would be allowed by right as a part of the state rules and our interpretation of them here in this local policy. So another aspect of our local policy is the dimensional standards. Essentially, if you're building an ADU that's less than 15 feet tall, so probably one story in most cases, you're going to be following the dimensional requirements of any accessory structure. So you can picture a shed that you're building. If your ADU is going to be less than 15 feet tall, the same standards would apply. So that would be a 3-foot setback to the property boundary in the rear and the front yards. If you were intending to build an ADU that's greater than 15 feet tall, then you would be following the dimensional requirements of a principal structure, which are going to be a little bit bigger. You're going to have a bigger setback in the rear yard and in the front yard, and additionally, generally in the side yards as well. Regardless of the height, all ADUs that are separate buildings must be at least 6 feet from any other structure located on the lot. The parking regulations, we have essentially required parking wherever we are allowed to under the state law. The city council is allowed to waive that requirement by special permit if an applicant requests that. The rules are essentially if you are outside of the blue circles on this map, you would be required to build or to have a parking space in conjunction with the ADU. If you're within the blue, that is not required. And that is because of proximity to transit. Some other sections that you'll see in this proposed zoning amendment, there's a portion of our zoning code in section 8 where we talk about each building being on a separate lot. So we've amended that to account for the ADUs. Section 13 for variances. Right now, if you're trying to build a use that is not allowed explicitly in our zoning code in that district, you can apply for a use variance. We are saying that we will not be giving use variances for residential use anymore. So if you were trying to build a residential building in a business district, I should say a single family home, for instance, in a business district, this would be proposing that you could not do that. And additionally, we made some changes to the use table, and essentially that just, it limits the amount of properties that would be eligible to get these protections from the ADU. So generally, to just reiterate, these are state regulations that have already gone into effect. Our proposed zoning code, we believe, meets the reasonable regulations. I think it does whatever we are able to do to make this work for Lynn. I think this can be a really useful tool for supporting homeowners and for housing stock in our community. And, you know, we have this data. I'll be interested to see sort of what comes out of this, but we're anticipating an average of 12 ADUs per year coming through based on the analysis that the Housing and Livable Communities Department has been utilizing. The Inspectional Services Department will need to be tracking these as they come through so that we can provide that data to the state. So that is something that we could be looking at in the future if folks are curious in the long run of the impacts of this policy. I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, just have a seat. We'll continue the public hearing here, and then if we have questions, and I know that we'll have you come back up. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor about this? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor?
Calvin Anderson, 12 Concord Street. Generally, I'm in favor of this because, well, for all the reasons that were listed, especially since somebody might be able to stay in their property, in their home as they age and can actually live in the smaller unit after they're renting out the big one. So it's an ideal situation. It also helps with the just general startup situation for, you know, first-time renters and things like that. The big dicey thing that I see, the only real problem is going to be the discretionary parking thing. Now, I can see this being a thing where the neighbors will come to a public hearing and say, no, I can't do that because they're giving up a garage to turn it into a dwelling unit, and now they're going to be parking on the street, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just thinking that that might be something that I would take a little bit of a better look at, set some decent policy so that it doesn't come up, you know, and seem arbitrary with each case. And I'm just wondering when, if any case, would the ZBA ever be involved with all this if the contractor, whoever is building this unit, is already complying with all the ISD components, et cetera. So I just want to see if anybody can clarify those a little bit.
Thank you. Anyone else in favor? Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Anybody in favor? Seeing on that part of the hearing is closed. Anybody in opposition? Opposition?
I'll do both, but mostly in favor.
You're good. Come on, it's okay. You're good.
Nathaniel Dewhurst. Yeah, in favor of the concept, in favor of the statewide push to solve the housing crisis. And as a homeowner, I'm in favor. I like the idea of being able to, bring in some extra income or have family have extra space. Just curious on some of the details, and I don't know if this is the right forum to ask those, but can you clarify, what happens if this doesn't?
The questions have to be directed to me.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. Thank you.
So I'd like info on what happens if the city does nothing, right? Because the state.
I can tell you
right
that
now.
Right now, they're going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
If we have to put reasonable restrictions on them.
And it would be useful if we could kind of virtually highlight the items in this city amendment that would be more or less restrictive than the state allowances, I guess. That would be useful. And then I think I'm curious when it comes to the details of building an ADU, how does that interface with existing structures? Like say you have a garage that's less than the required setback from a side lot or something, and you want to add a story to it that's more than 15 feet, but it's adding to an existing structure. You know what I mean? You want to convert that. What are the implications there? Parking, similarly. I was curious what counts as a bus station versus a bus stop or interchange. It looked like, based on the map, that it's only major stations that count. So I'm curious, do I fall within or without that radius, that kind of thing? And then I'm curious, what the thinking is with the relationship between short-term rentals. And obviously, you want those different regulations to be aligned. But I noticed that we're saying under this proposal, if you build an ADU, that neither that nor the primary can be short-term rented. And I'm curious why we would take away that right that someone might already have. I can't do a rental because I'm in an R1 right now, but I always thought that would be a great way to bring in some extra income. If I go on a weekend trip, rent my house out to somebody else while I'm gone, no increase in parking while I'm gone, all that kind of stuff. But if someone was in an R2, they can currently do one unit on Airbnb or something. But if they want to build an ADU, now we're saying they have to choose. So I don't see why we would do that. I can understand wanting to kind of keep the overall volume of that at the same and add to the housing stock, which short-term rentals don't. But I don't know why we would take away from their ability to do a short-term rental on the primary. So I'd love to have a discussion about that particular thing. I mean, I'm in favor of opening up more, giving us more flexibility on short-term rentals in general, but that's kind of a separate question. But I think this should at the very least not reduce a homeowner's ability to engage in short-term rentals.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep. Anyone else in opposition? Anybody else in opposition? Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. It's the wish of the council. You will. You do it after, yep.
Motion to approve.
Do a motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, discussion. Councilor Meany?
Forgive me if the young lady could come back to the podium.
Yeah. Lauren, could you come up to the podium and answer some of these questions that have come up? Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I wish I had taken some more notes, but I remember one of the questions was about how this compares to what is more permissive, what's less permissive. I think essentially in every way we are being slightly more restrictive than what the state is allowing. Where these changes to the use table and to where we're allowing use variances for residential limits the number of parcels that would be able to have the ADUs by right. So that was the intention there. And then for the parking, I believe that was an option that we could choose to require up to one parking space, and we have included in our proposed amendment that we would require that. Again, you could choose to waive that through a special permit if it was requested by the property owner.
I think one of the questions was about the circles. that are on this map that you have?
Yes.
Those are train stations, not bus stops, correct?
So it's actually a combination. It's a great question. So this would be the commuter rail station in Lynn. The one in Swampscott would probably count as well. And it's also the bus station in Central Square, but also the end of the bus route that's on Eastern Ave. So it's a little odd. It doesn't match with the MBTA Communities Act, how they've been talking about it, but that's how we're interpreting it. And we specifically were clear about that in our regulations because we felt like it was a little unclear, and we thought it'd be good to get that on the record in our policy.
All right, and then Councilor Meany, do you have any other questions?
Yes, I just to the last gentleman, that would be a good conversation to have with the ward councilor if you're looking for clarification. I just had a couple questions just for the public knowledge. So these ADUs are for residential only. There'll be no businesses run out of these units, or at least there should not be?
No, there should not be. They should be residential only, correct?
Okay, and then does subsidized housing, Section 8 vouchers, whatever you'd like to call it, does that have any impact on an ADU?
I don't believe that vouchers would have any impact. I know that we are not able to, it is not allowed to have, for instance, the inclusionary zoning apply to these units. So I don't think there would be any particular impact to the vouchers of the Section 8.
Okay, and then last question, would it be possible for your office to produce like a little cheat sheet? Just because I have no doubt in my mind that all of us are going to get questions about this from constituents. So if we have like a quick PDF that says what the do's and don'ts, or is there something we could do for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also encourage the lynncommunitytv.com/zoning is where we've been posting a lot of this information, but happy to talk about format and get you whatever you need to help answer constituent questions.
Thank you, Lauren.
I think Councilor Arlington.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am the ward councilor of the last gentleman who's speaking, so I took the liberty of taking a photo of some of the questions because Lauren missed some of his questions. Lauren, while you're here about the parking, I understand that Swampscott Station and the Lynn Commuter Rail was the one circled in blue. Was the clarification about the regular bus stops, like 441, 442, and other bus stops, is still considered or separate for that blue, circled blue areas?
So the blue in the center, it's hard to see. They're not actually circles. They're sort of two circles that have been merged together, but it's the Central Square train station and the Central Square busway. We're counting as the bus station there. And then towards the Swampscott side, it's there's a bus route that ends on Eastern Ave. And that they call it a point of embarkation is how they define a bus station. So we are identifying that as like a beginning end of a route as opposed to every stop along the route. In a previous draft of the regulations, it seemed to imply it might be every bus stop on a route. And since they've removed that, we believe this is the correct interpretation of the state's regulations.
Okay. Can you clarify what if we'll not pass tonight? What would be, what will happen?
What will happen? I think the only changes would be that there wouldn't necessarily be a parking requirement, if memory serves, and additionally, there would be more parcels in Lynn that would be eligible to have an ADU in the business districts, for example.
Okay. All right. I have no more questions. Council Phil.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lauren, while we're on the parking screen, say somebody has a driveway that can fit 2 cars currently. Excuse me. Is that determined if they have an accessory unit? Do you count one of those as one of those required parking spaces, or are they going to need to be required to produce a third one? So how does the city tell? Is it through the assessor's office? What's already, on the map? Or
through you, Chair, I apologize. I feel like that is something that inspectional services would be making an interpretation on, and so I wouldn't feel comfortable weighing in on that. I'm happy to have someone jump in if anyone else feels more comfortable.
Turning the line apart.
So, because we're going to find a lot of cars on the street and taking up parking on the street.
Correct. If it's a pre-existing non-conforming use and they have no parking, and there are some properties in the city that do not have any off-street parking, they would need to have one space. So you wouldn't be counting the spaces, my understanding speaking with inspectional services, you wouldn't be counting the spaces that exist now.
Okay,
You
thank
have to have an additional one for the new family coming in.
Thank you.
And Jim, just one more thing. But that's not the case in the areas that we have in these two half-blue circles, correct?
Correct.
Those areas,
In those areas, there can be no parking requirement.
They can just-
But that's the state rules, where our hands are tied on that.
so I just want to clarify.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to make sure that it's an important point, because I don't want people saying, well, we have a two-car driveway. You know, that's grandfathered in or whatever.
But they can say that in the areas with
Correct,
circles.
yeah,
I just
outside the
want to
circle.
make sure we
Outside the circle.
clarify that. Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I can see a situation where we're going to have that with a lot of additional parking on some of these really tight streets.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, so as far as like a single-family home, they can just take the roof off and add a second story and call it an accessory dwelling, and now it's a two-family home in R1?
There would obviously be a process in place of going through the building permit, providing the site plan. But yes, one of the options for putting in an ADU would be the top floor of the house.
Okay. Now, current ordinance is 10,000 square feet for a single family, and I believe it's 12,000 or something around that for multifamily, correct?
I think so.
Is there a restriction on size of lot? So if somebody has a 3,000 square foot lot, they can have the same size accessory dwelling as long as it meets the 6-foot variance from the other structure, compared to somebody that has an 8,000 or 10,000 square foot lot? This is by right?
The limitation is 900 square feet, or half of the square footage of the principal structure. But it would be, because this is so protected, we really have to accommodate the ADU, even if it's a non-conforming situation.
So even on a 3,000, 4,000 square foot lot, they're saying they can fit a 900 square foot structure.
Yes, and we're requiring the specific plot plan and the submittals to help us work through as best as we can when these come through. But the rules are really in the way that we can't, there's only so much we can be regulating around educational uses or religious uses. This is essentially another category in that.
Yeah. And then as far as like, this is kind of off topic, but as far as like a shed in somebody's yard, what's the maximum restriction on a shed without a permit? Isn't that much less than the 900 feet that they're allowing for a second unit?
Might be a question for Attorney Lamanna to come up.
I don't know if I understand the question.
So I'm saying people have to get a permit to get a shed that's half the size of these ADU conforming units. It's crazy in my mind that these ADU units can be by right with 900 square feet, and a shed is less than 500 if I'm not correct, if I'm correct?
Well, my interpretation is that if you could make it habitable, a shed, if it meets all the dimensional requirements of the zone ordinance based on the 15 feet above and below, you could turn a shed in.
I think I made the question confusing. I think people still have to come here for a permit to have a shed over 500 feet, but not for a 900 square foot dwelling any longer.
That's correct. And I think it's important to note that first, if it's an ADU is going to go up, you still have to have two means of egress.
Right.
So that you'll have to build out the home to have a second entrance and exit.
Yeah.
You can't use the same entrance to have someone living upstairs on a ranch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other councils have questions? I think Councilor Matul and then Madry.
Just for my clarification, so this legislative is coming from the state, so no matter what, it's going through no matter what. Basically, all the meetings that we had with the zoning team and everything, we're basically just trying to be more restrictive and basically protect our R1s as of right now, right?
Exactly.
That's basically what we're doing, because it's going to pass no matter what.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's already in effect, so this just gives us a little bit more control locally. Thank you.
Councilor Madry had a question.
Sorry, yes. So my question was, is this you can only build the ADU in R1s, right? So not in any other zone?
No, thank you so much for that question, because this took us a lot of time in our team to make sure we understood. It's when they say, here, I'm going to actually put the definition back up. So when they say that you can build an ADU by right in a single-family zoning district, that's any district where you would allow a single-family home to be built, either by right or by special permit. So that means it's all of our residential districts, from R1 all the way to R5. And before, today, before without having this passed, also our business districts, because we also previously allowed single-family homes to be built in business districts by special permit. So that's why we're changing that, and that's why we're putting a few more restrictions on how we use use variances in order to make fewer of these parcels eligible for this. But it's bigger than R1, which we didn't really appreciate until we started digging into the regulations.
Thank you.
Councilman Tulin.
And it's not just single-family homes, right? It's single and two-family homes, but not well, I guess a three-family home is considered a multi-family home, right?
Yes, yeah, it's much more, there's many more properties through the state rules that are eligible for having these ADUs than what we were picturing when it first came through, absolutely.
Council Lapierre had a question.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question, Lauren, is a simple one. If a constituent wants to embark on building out an ADU, who is the point of contact to help them in our city? Is it ISD? Are they the enforcement agent on this? And have they been trained adequately by the state regs in this amendment, perhaps if it goes through, to be able to address concerns that residents may have or questions they may have?
Thank you for that question. It is inspectional services it would be basically the same process for a building permit. They were a huge help in putting together these regulations. We got so much feedback from them, and they even helped us with our comment letter back to the state on the regulations. So they've been absolutely hand in hand with all of this to put this amendment together.
To answer questions from our residents who might want to do this.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Council McLean.
I just wanted to go back to the gentleman that was talking about the rental restrictions. Could you just elaborate a little bit more on that? Like, where do those restrictions start, and where do they end?
Do you mean for the short-term rental specifically? Yes. Mm-hmm. So this is something that we're hoping to talk a little bit about in the zoning rewrite as well. It's essentially, because it felt like something that we could regulate, we thought we would put this in place now. It's also another example of something that wouldn't be in place if we just let the state rules take over. So we've made the election to minimize the short-term rentals for the 28 days. The reason that we did that for both units is we were seeing in other communities that the thought was that some folks might build an ADU to move into so that they can rent the primary structure. And we weren't sure that that was something we were ready to jump on board with. So that is why we've just sort of gone for the simple thing of, if you're doing an ADU, none of the units should be for short-term rental at this time. I think it's something that we could explore in the future if the council was interested in changing that.
If I could, the intent of this is to provide housing for people, not for a rental, right? I mean, for like a short-term rental, because the idea, there's the communities where the short-term rentals, no one can rent a house, no one can live there because there's so many short-term rentals. I think the state's idea here is to try to make sure you have stable housing being increased, not, an Airbnb for someone just to come for a couple of weeks, because I understand that might look lucrative to some people, but the intent behind this, the way I understood it, is to try to provide stable housing for people in this area that don't have it in a lot of ways, if I'm correct.
Exactly,
okay.
Yes.
I think Council Arlington had a question.
Yes, Mr. President. I guess my question is very simple. What if this will not pass tonight? Is there any other way where we can go back to the drawing board and have another conversation with the community, or finish that a flyer that Councilor Meany had recommended, so that there'll be education with our residents about this zoning?
I think the question was probably for Attorney Lamanna.
I've been informed by ISD that there are 9 applications that are already in queue. If this is not passed this evening, they could be built with no dimensional requirements, and there's no additional parking requirements.
Anywhere, business district, anywhere.
And in the business district, they would be allowed to be built because single-family homes would fit into that category under the regulations as promulgated. If it does pass tonight, those 9 that are in queue would have to comply because this was advertised prior to the effective date. So that was part of the strategy, was to make sure this zone ordinance was advertised prior to the effective date of the state law, which was a week ago Monday, I believe.
Thank you, Jim. I mean, in a lot of ways, we have to do something tonight, because if we don't, then you're going to end up with, so, but I don't know who the 9 applications are, but there'll be places where they should have some parking, and they're going to be they'll be allowed to just build them the way they are. And, the biggest problem that I see with this for everybody is going to be the parking. Parking is just horrendous as it is at the city, and there's no way to get anywhere. So,
Oops, sorry.
Attorney Lamano?
I do want to stress that you do require a building permit, whether you're building out your attic to make it an ADU or you're converting a garage in the rear of your property. So in all cases, you have to go to ISD.
Okay, thank you. The Council Matul?
Just for clarification, did you say that the ADUs, they cannot be owner occupied, or that they can be?
They can be. We cannot require them to be owner occupied.
Okay.
And to your point, Councillor Allensug, we did just release the draft of our zoning code rewrite today on the linncommunitytv.com/zoning website. That's a public process we've already been building out, and that could be an opportunity if folks feel like we got something wrong here. That would be a great avenue to get feedback, and we could look at that as we're moving towards. Yes, it's linncommunitytv.com/zoning.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the council? It's the wish of the council. Do we have a motion already, right?
Yep,
We have a
I just
second.
want to make.
Yep, Council Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to make one final comment. Thank you to the state of Massachusetts for sticking it to cities and towns like us. Hopefully you take up the issue with our school buildings, because this will certainly impact schools and public safety. So I hope they send along the funding and smarts for that as well.
Yeah, I hope this has the impact on some of these other communities that don't take the burden on that they're supposed to, and I guess we're going to find out. So we have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Council Allensug?
No.
Council Jacutis?
Yes.
Yes. Council Field?
Yes.
Yes. Council Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Council LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Council Matul?
Yes.
Yes. Council McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Council Meany?
Present.
Present. Councilor Meji Madre?
No.
Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Walsh?
Yes. What do we have?
8.
We have 8. Motion carries. Okay. Any other public hearings?
No.
Public hearings to be set down.
No public hearings to be set down.
Committees, Public Works.
Public property.
Public property.
Ways and Means.
Oh, it says Public Works. Yes. I got the wrong one. Sorry. Got the old one.
It needs zoning.
Ways and Means. Councilor Net, I'm sorry.
Yes, Mr. President.
Too much
On
paper.
Unanimous vote of the committee, I make a motion to approve.
Motion approved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Will the clerk read the transfers?
All right.
Okay. We have transfers that were laid over from the January 28th meeting. Following transfers are from free cash, $2,795,195 Market Street account for build-out, $2,200,000 for LPD, LFD, Public Safety Dispatch System, $1,675,000 for the 100 Bennett Street build-out, $1 million for LPD and LFD compensation buyouts, $595,000 for Lynn Classical Heating System, $500,000 to fund OPED Trust, $431,000 for assistant school repairs, $400,000 to build out Fecto Larry STEM School, $223,000 to the 53-week STAB Fund, $175,000 to assistant school accelerated repair project. Following transfers are from the reserve. $154,000 to fund parking expense needs, $60,011.28 to fund personal buyback, $50,055.95 to fund sick buybacks, and finally, $120 from personnel expense to fund a bill of prior year. We have new transfers, $50,000 from reserve to the care of dogs to fund the needs of the department, $1,000 from the LPD expense to a bill of prior year for a retired officer. Certified funds, $25,000 to DPW for the 2025 treatment of Flax Pond project to eliminate algae. $42,270 to the fire department for the 2025 firefighter safety grant program. and $60,000 to the DPW for the 2025 City of Lynn Parks Repair Project.
So a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Roll call?
Counselor Allenson?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Chakutis?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Field?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hogan?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Matul?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor McLean?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Meany?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Meji Madre?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. Counselor Net?
Yes.
Yes, and Counselor Walsh?
Yes. All right, I think that was it, Councilor Net. There's no emergencies, right?
There's no emergencies or whatever.
Public Properties, Councilor Jacutis.
Unanimous vote of the committee, and there is just one thing, the week of April 15th through the 18th, the Easter Bunny will be in the foyer, so if you check the Lynn Park and Recreation website, it will give you the time so you can come see the Easter Bunny.
Love the Easter Bunny. All right. All right, so we have a motion to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
No one wants to vote against the Easter Bunny?
No.
Okay. All right. Licensing, Councilor Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a unanimous vote by our committee. I make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Utilities, Council Ellingson.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have 4 public hearings via National Grid on Wards 1, 2, and 6. We have a unanimous vote by the committee. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Any old business? I think we have some new business. Councilor McLean.
Well, this is really old business. I made a motion last meeting that I felt wasn't properly addressed on the floor, and I would like to make the motion again, referring to public comment being added to our meetings at the City Council.
Okay.
Second.
The motion, we have a second. Discussion. Councilor Ellingson.
I strongly support Councilor McLean's proposal to have an open mic segment in future meetings. I've been watching a lot of city council meetings from different cities and towns, and I also spoke with several city councilors from other cities and towns, and it's adding that part in future meetings really is our way of empowering our residents to be very proactive. As you've noticed, most of our meetings here, there's probably 1 or 2 people around. It's really nice to have them here in a city of more than 100,000 people to be part of running this city, either by giving suggestions or recommendations or even observation. I recommend, Mr. President, to create a task force of some sort with some of our solicitors to really write rules, because we cannot just let people just speak here. There should be a rule where they should follow. When it says 3 minutes, they should, what would we do after 3 minutes? So it should be in an orderly, proper. And I think we can get a lot of those informations from other cities like Salem and others.
If Councilor McLean wants to amend her motion to match that, to direct the law department to draft rules around that, I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will amend the motion to, yeah.
My motion will go even further by creating a task force. What that is adding a counselor or a member of the public probably on top of our law department to really brainstorm on how to do it.
Or is that amendable, Councilor? All right, so we have a motion.
Second.
Second on it. Councilor Hogan.
Yeah, I'm in support of this also. Definitely bringing the public up to speak and say what's on their mind, which we have to sit here and listen as elected officials when people have stuff to say about the city that we represent. And especially us ward councilors, we represent wards, and some of our people want to come up here and say a couple words. And for us to sit here and listen to them, that's part of our job and part of what we should do. And I'm definitely in support of this 100%, and definitely in support of our law department looking over and having our set of rules, the way that our council is going to do it. And how we do it each month and how we do it each meeting it will be great. And I just thank my colleagues for bringing this up, and thank you, Council President, for hearing us, and thank you guys all. So definitely in support.
Any other discussion on it? Councilor Madry?
I also would I want to hear more from the residents and see this chambers filled every council meeting. So I'm all for it, and I definitely am supportive. And I do think we do need rules around it, maybe have like first meeting of the month or some sort of rules around it, but we definitely should do it.
Any other comment, Council Abreu?
Well, a comment would be, Mr. President, that we did hear loud and clear from the general public a little over a month ago, I think, during our charter review of that committee that's been doing a lot of work on the charter itself. And I'm wondering to myself, I think it's appropriate for this body to take action based on what we've heard from residents that do want to come before us and have a public participation component. So it may actually, keeping it within our own rules and having this task force enacted may prevent sort of a way in which we can avoid putting this into the charter and can keep it more as a city council procedure and not so much a charter referendum vote. So I would be in favor of this, hearing what we've heard in the past from residents, that they would take us up on our offer. But I do like the sort of guidelines and regulations and rules of which the task force will come up with, so that we don't end up just with some blanket policy in the charter. Thank you.
Council Field.
Thank you, Mr. President. Maybe this is a question for Attorney Lamanna. When the law department comes up with these ideas, is it something that we'll have a public hearing about, so that we invite the public to say yes or no to certain things that they want, so that we can strike out what maybe they don't want, or something that they do want because it's the public's best interest to have that, so we can go over everything to be transparent to them?
That would be up to this board, how they would go about doing that. What I've seen other cities and city councils around the state, they generally make their own internal rules and regulations without a public comment period. It's not an ordinance. There's no requirement by state law that there be a public hearing. That does not mean if the council believed that it was valuable to do that, that they couldn't on their own initiative allow that. But what I've seen is that there hasn't been public comment on it.
Okay.
That each council makes their own rules themselves.
What about as far as open meeting laws? Like, how are we going to discuss like what we're going to approve and what we're not going to approve? So that I think that's kind of what I mean. We want to make sure that we're not seen as doing things behind the scene, and 11 of us are discussing what this is going to be in reference to public meeting law.
Those discussions should be happening right here in the council chamber.
Okay.
I mean, it says some cities say that the only topics you can bring up are matters that are on the agenda that night. Others have any matter that relates to city business. Some cities have only city residents. Others are open to the general public at large. So this is entirely up to this board to debate what is best for this council if they want to go that route.
And that debate should be done in the council?
Absolutely, an open session here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do.
Council McLean.
Regarding the school committee meetings, how do they do their public hearings, well, their public comment, and could we mirror that? Is that something that we could mirror?
I could reach out to my colleagues on the school side. My understanding, there's a sign-up period. I see that with a lot of other cities and towns in my initial research. There's a deadline, whether it's a half hour before the meeting. There's a limit, whether it's 5, 10, 15 speakers a given night, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Again, these are all matters that are before that properly before you in an open session.
Okay. Any other council on that?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, this open mic thing. So will the councilor engage with the resident who come up and speak, or we take this as an idea and we discuss later on? So what is the process going to be? Are we going to be able to communicate with them live?
I think that's up to us to make those rules around that. I know I've seen some cities and towns where there isn't a back and forth with the councilors in the podium. There would just be an open mic, people would be able to speak, but I think that's something we would have to decide as a body.
Okay, so it's going to be a very long discussion all night, pretty much. So,
yeah, I think we're going to put a task force together, is what we're going to do. That's what the motion is.
Okay.
I like that.
All right. Just a clarification on it. How do we put the task force together? Is that something you want me to pick together and put people?
Yes, I try to limit some of the conversations because most of these conversations should happen during the task force conversation. Like now, we have lists of guidelines from the City of Irvine, City of Los Angeles, Lowell, Salem. Like we can copy or try to learn from these cities who are effectively doing. Our school committee is doing an open mic night. Salem is doing it. The city council don't have to respond to an open mic. It's just a way for residents to say something about their observation in the city. The city has a lot of potholes. And it's for us to learn and listen in a public setting.
My question is more about how do we go about putting the task force together?
So formation of task force, you as president could appoint who will compose that task force. It's an internal. My recommendation is to have a counselor and our law department, at least, at the minimum, and go from there.
Okay, all right, good. So we have a motion on that. We have a second on it. Any other discussion on it? Roll call.
Council Alonsag?
Yes.
Yes, Council Jacutis?
Yes.
Yes, Council Field?
Yes.
Yes, Council Hogan?
Yes.
Yes, Council LaPierre?
Yes.
Yes, Council Matul?
Yes.
Yes, Council McLean?
Yes.
Yes, Council Meany? Council Meany absent. Council Meji Madre?
Yes.
Yes, Council Net?
Yes.
Yes, Council Walsh?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Any other new business?
No new business here.
Business? Councilor Net?
Would like to make a motion to adjourn, Mr. President.
Motion to adjourn.
Second
Give a
that
second.
motion.
All in favor? Adjourn.